Hey everyone, Dr. Ryan at Primal Chiropractic and Primal Elite Fitness. In this week's video blog, we're going to be breaking down how to prevent disease and even reverse it. Just to be clear, this is going to be a very condensed version, 5 minutes or less. And if you enjoy what you're hearing, we're going to be going over this in very thorough detail in our private Facebook group called the Primal Reset. And starting this Monday, we're all going to be running through a detox that's customizable for every individual. So let's break this down. So we're going to start with a pretty cool sentence up top. It is toxicity creates deficiency, deficiency creates decreased methylation, and decreased methylation is ultimately responsible for disease. And disease, in my definition, is anything that's going wrong with the body. That could be autoimmunity, that could be cancer, that could be skin issues, that could be chronic infection, depression, anxiety. Basically, anything that's not normal is caused by this. So we're going to start from the top with toxicity because this is where the snowball starts to roll. There's many things that create toxicity, but we're going to just list some of the more common ones first. Gut dysbiosis. So this is when the gut flora is not normal. The good bacteria gets disturbed and there's an overgrowth of candida, viruses, bacteria, yeast overgrowth, fungus. Main way this typically happens is poor nutrition and very inflammatory foods. Next, parasites. We made a previous video on low stomach acid, and that's usually a main factor on parasite buildup. And parasites are nasty. We're going to get into more detail in the group. And then another way is stress. And that is also the next bullet point, stress. Stress is the silent killer. It increases our cortisol, and increased cortisol for long periods of time will eventually literally break down our body. Heavy metals is another one. And another one in that same category is environmental factors such as mold exposure and pollution. So once we have a toxic load, this will then create deficiency. And then that is going to decrease something called methylation. And methylation is responsible for turning on and off enzymes that regulate every process in our body. So when we are given certain genetics, we don't want to freak out whether there's a high cancer rate or high cardiovascular disease rate in our family. These things will only be turned on through methylation. And so if your methylation is working properly, you can completely avoid or delay long-term cancer, heart disease, anything that is within our genetics or genes. Methylation does not work without proper vitamins and minerals. And again, that's that snowball effect. If we're not eating the right foods, typically gut dysbiosis happens. Once that occurs, we're not able to absorb vitamins and minerals, and then our methylation is not working, and then it's going to create further disease. And that's the problem with some Western medicine techniques, is when we are given medications, they're given towards a sign and a symptom and not the root cause. So instead of addressing methylation, we're throwing a medication which further strips vitamins and minerals and snowballing us more down the road. Other things that methylation does is builds and breaks down hormones and neurotransmitters. So again, this is highly responsible for hormonal issues, thyroid, PCOS, infertility, depression, anxiety, that main category. And the majority of this happens in the liver. So when we talk about solutions, I like to really focusing on the liver and focusing on detoxification. And that's what we're going to be doing in our group. So for one, we're going to be focusing on an anti-inflammatory nutrition protocol and also foods that are directly correlated to improving methylation. Herbs. So the herbs that we're going to be really focusing on twofold will be antimicrobial. So that's going to be going after yeast, candida, fungus, parasites, and also helping phase 2 liver detox. And phase 2 liver detox is heavily related to ridding excess hormones. So we're going to get that process turned on and running properly. And then other forms of detox is what a lot of us are already doing, hopefully. That could be exercise. We want to be sweating through the skin, getting rid of toxins, making sure that we're hydrated properly so we can excrete it through the urine. Proper bowel movements. You should be having bowel movements daily. This helps detox the body. Breathing through the lungs. That's another form of detox. So if you are interested in completely restoring your health, whether you already have disease or you want to prevent it, let us know if you would like to join our private Facebook group called the Primal Reset. We're starting this Monday, and we're going to be getting into all of this in way more detail. Thanks.